going on, everyone? So DeMar DeRozan, big question is, will Chicago Bulls actually trade DeMar DeRozan come the NBA trade deadline? Personally, I think they should have traded DeMar DeRozan like last year. I think they should have tore this team down last year, but instead they decided to keep everybody, re-sign guys. Even in the offseason, I was like, just trade everybody. You're not winning anything. You're not going to do anything. And now look at the situation they're in, like with guys like Zach LaVine. He's out for the season. DeMar DeRozan, there were reports that came out that contract extensions didn't go well, and that there is a growing fear that DeMar DeRozan is going to leave them in free agency. And now it looks like they're at least fielding offers for DeMar DeRozan, that the Bulls are taking contacts and are open to the idea of trading DeMar DeRozan, where they were extremely reluctant before. They did not want to trade him. DeMar DeRozan twice publicly said that he wanted to re-sign with the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls owner said that they wanted to keep DeMar DeRozan. There was a point not very long ago where it looked like DeMar DeRozan was sticking around with the Chicago Bulls for the long haul. But things change. Again, you're not able to get a contract extension. That doesn't mean that they can't get a new contract in the offseason, right? But he is 34 years old. So how long is he going to continue to play at this level? Now, I do believe he's a guy that can be very good and effective into the later years because he's not super reliant on his athleticism. He's not super reliant on a guy that just like has to have this explosiveness. No, he's more crafty, more methodical. He's very gifted at just kind of getting to his spots and where he needs to go, and is an excellent player and would be an excellent player for most teams. But he is still 34 years old, and there always is the question of the decline. Now, luckily, throughout his career, he's been very healthy. I mean, the guy averages like 75 games a season, right? His fewest games played of his career is 60, and that was back in 2014, 2015, right? Like, most guys in today's NBA only play like 60 games. Right, DeMar DeRozan right now has played 48 games. Last year, he played 74, 76, 61, 68, 77, 80. Right, this is a guy that, now again, he's been Mr. Reliable in many ways. He shows up, he plays all the games, and be very valuable. But can they come to a contract extension? Another big factor is the Zach LaVine. Right? Zach LaVine being out for the season. The original plan was they wanted to trade Zach LaVine. They were hoping to trade him early and quickly. Trade Zach LaVine, see what assets they get, see what players they got in return, kind of get a look at it, and then make a decision. Do you want to trade DeMar DeRozan? Do you want to trade Alex Caruso? Do you want to trade Vu? That kind of thing. But now that Zach LaVine is out for the season, they're stuck with him, right? And they may never be able to trade him without giving up some assets, without giving up picks or a first. So their best course of action may be to trade DeMar DeRozan. And to me, it's where the Lakers come in, right? A big three of DeMar DeRozan, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, I think would be massive. I have been team DeMar DeRozan for a very long time. I know a lot of people are like, well, you want Zach LaVine, you want Zach LaVine. Again, go look at the older live streams, go look at the older videos, go look at the offseason even. I was preaching DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan was my first choice of the DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine. And then, like I said, we got the new information that Chicago was not going to trade DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan comes out publicly twice and says, hey, I want to re-sign here. I want to stay here. I even said, maybe it's, the company man answer. But if we aren't able to get a DeMar DeRozan, then go make a move for Zach LaVine. But if the Lakers can now go get and trade for DeMar DeRozan, this real growing fear that DeMar DeRozan might leave you and the Lakers could swoop in and take him, right? Sign me up for some DeMar DeRozan. I just think his ability to score, get to his spots, hit the mid-range is just very valuable to give you that consistent score game in and game out, night in and night out. A guy that, as I mentioned earlier, has been Mr. Reliable and can play multiple games, especially when you have a guy like LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They both have been extremely healthy this year, knock on wood, which is good. But, how does that look next year and the year after and stuff like that? So to have a guy like a DeMar DeRozan, I just think he'd be extremely valuable. He's not going to cost you a ton, right? Contract-wise, even to re-sign him, maybe you have to give him $18 to $20 million a year. But I don't know. I like the idea of a DeMar DeRozan. You're talking about a guy he's playing 37 minutes a game, and he's still able to play 80 games a season. He's 46.5% from the field. He is 33% from three-point range, but he barely takes them. He takes like 3 attempts per game. It's actually 2.8 if you want to be exact, but he's 50% from the field. And that's playing as like the main guy, right? He's like the guy. Imagine him playing alongside a LeBron James, playing alongside an Anthony Davis, where they just demand so much attention. Teams can't double team DeMar DeRozan the way that they can on like a Chicago or whatever, right? They have to respect LeBron and AD. DeMar DeRozan as your first player, maybe even your second player at this point, I don't think you can win a championship with. But him as your third player, absolutely. I do believe you can. And he's averaging 22 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.5 steals, and 1 block. Like, that's good. Give me that. Sign me up for that. I do. And his versatility, basically, he could play the 2 through 4 if you want him to. It wouldn't cost you much. You could still go trade for DeJounte Murray if you wanted to. All right, because I don't think it's going to take you a bunch of firsts and all this stuff to go and acquire DeMar DeRozan. So it would be nice to go get a guy in a DeMar who still gives you and allows you to maintain flexibility. Also defensively, right? Defensive rating wise, he's a 116.8. League average this season has been a 116.5. So he's basically league average defensively, which that's all. Like, you just need him to be serviceable. He's going to make up more than enough because of his playmaking, his scoring, things like that. I look at DeMar DeRozan and I'm like, man, he would be an excellent fit. And I know a lot of people, but he doesn't shoot threes. He's not going to stretch the floor. There's more to stretching the floor than shooting threes. And he is excellent in like that deep 2 where it's like basically his foot is on the line. The guy's like lights out in that regard. It's just like that extra step. But again, he doesn't take a lot of them. And he's so crafty, so methodical, so good at getting to those spots. And just to have a guy that can consistently go get you 20 a night, it would just be massive, right? You see guys like Austin Reeves. Gives you 28, gives you 30, and then, basically lays a dud, gives you 9.05 from 3. It's the lack of consistency from the other guys. But if you can get a guy like a DeMar DeRozan, who he can actually provide a consistent night in, night out, even on his bad nights, he's still giving you 15. Like that is something that the Lakers desperately need. And a consistent go-to scorer, a guy that can hit big shots down the stretch. I mean, talk about a guy in DeMar DeRozan. He's been one of the top guys in the league year in and year out for clutch time. 2 years ago, he was number 1 in the league. And again, that's like as the main guy. Imagine him as your third guy. I mean, he's better than D'Lo. He's better than Austin Reeves. So if you could get that clear, significant upgrade, I don't hate it. I don't hate the idea. Obviously, this is more of a win now move, right? Because he's 34, right? So he is of the older stature. But again, I'm not really as concerned as I would be with somebody else. Because he's been able to prove it. He's been able to be healthy. He's not reliant on athleticism. He's not reliant on explosiveness or anything. He's just that crafty old guy, right? Now, in a perfect world, you'd be able to get Alex Caruso. I'd love to get Caruso as well, if you could in the deal. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I think the upside, you go get DeJounte Murray and DeMar if you can. But if like your alternative is like Alex Caruso and DeMar, sign me up. Right? I'd pretty much trade whatever you want for Alex Caruso and DeMar DeRozan. Just because, it gives you basically everything you need other than a center. I'd want them to throw in Andre Drummond also. Go get Drummond. Just because, again, like, you need that backup center. But if you could get Alex Caruso, DeMar DeRozan, and Andre Drummond, which was what I originally wanted the Lakers to go get. Now, I want to say that there's still no word whether they're trading Caruso or Drummond or anything like that. But, conversations, talks, picks, things like that. Like, hey, all of a sudden you get Alex Caruso, DeMar DeRozan, and Andre Drummond, you're sitting pretty, right? I mean, especially when Jared Vanderbilt comes back, because it looks like he will be back at some point this year. I mean, Alex Caruso, DeMar DeRozan, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis is tough. You got three-point shooting, you got scoring, you got defense, you got two of the best on-ball defenders in the league in Alex Caruso and Jared Vanderbilt, right? You got that clutch go-to scorer that go get you 20 on any given night, give you 30 on any given night, and DeMar DeRozan, LeBron James, Anthony Davis. I think that is very balanced, very structured. And you got your backup big man and Andre Drummond. You wouldn't break the bank or anything. Like, I do. I like the idea. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Best question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you like the idea of, like, yeah, go get a DeMar DeRozan, get an Alex Caruso also if you can? Do you think no, stay away from them? Go pivot elsewhere. Again, whatever you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I would love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.